What's up guys, Houndish here, and today the final shape has finally arrived. So servers are coming back online, yes, as always. There's a little bit of instability and some server queues, so if you're jumping in immediately at day one, some patience may be required. It's always worth saying that, but that means we finally get to jump into the expansions. So in this video, we will cover some launch-related things. We'll also take a look at new rewards for the final shape and the Echoes episode. Of course, we now have the season pass, so we'll be picking up some items from there. We'll also cover some new exotics and secrets, an upcoming exotic quest, as well as things like the ritual weapon. Plus we'll take a look at the Eververse inventory, related vendors and systems, and then we'll round up some of the featured content for the week that we'll be diving into outside, of course, of the major expansion drop today. So it's a very lively one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, get subscribed and I'll be keeping you posted with even more content. But without further delay, let's get into it. And so we're jumping into the expansion right here. Keep in mind, the bulk of the episode 1 content will be dropping next week on June 11th. But we now have access to the episode pass. And it's worth saying the first thing we can claim is the Red Death Pulse rifle, so it's going to be fun to jump in and try that one out. Be sure to grab it as you start. It also gives us a preview though of some of the seasonal weapons in the early ranks that are available right here. Season passes are now split into the 3 different acts, so more ranks are going to roll out as time goes on this season. But we get to see some of the cool episode weapons, things like the Lost Signal. This is a new grenade launcher with an aerial denial frame, very similar to Witherhoard actually. It's a burst fire grenade launcher, and each projectile creates a lingering pool on impact that deals damage over time. So a new weapon archetype immediately right there. And with this being a seasonal weapon, it comes with Radiolaria Transposer, which is the origin trait, and rapid final blows cause targets to explode in a pool of Radiolarian fluid. So we do have a Radiolaria Witherhoard right there. That's a rank 20 reward. But there are other weapons for the episode, like the Ill Omen. This is a caster frame sword with stasis damage. It will benefit from that same origin trait. And also, as we can see here from the season pass, we're getting access to some pretty interesting armor. There's a sort of chromatic set of gear with cycling RGB colors, and we'll start getting access to that during the first act ranks. Of course, we're seeing it on the Titan right here, but it's a pretty cool set for all of the classes. And also later on in the season pass for the upcoming acts, we'll be getting access to red border versions of the season weapons. And visually, these weapons are really cool as well, kind of remind me of Vault of Glass themes. And it's obvious that this is a Vex themed episode alongside the expansion. There'll even be alternative armor ornaments coming up later on in the pass ranks. So pretty juicy one, and it's cool to get a look at some of that gear that we'll be getting access to over the next few weeks. So let us know your thoughts on those. We can also see a new ritual weapon, which is the Perfect Pitch submachine gun. This is a precision frame SMG, and it comes with the gun and run origin trait, where rapidly defeating targets with the weapon grants bonus sprint speed, and guardians, powerful combatants, and high value targets grant this bonus quicker. We can also see perks of subsistence, incandescent, and onslaught on this one, so that's the ritual weapon to look out for. And as we head to look at a few more exotic things here, it's worth mentioning we are going to get access to a new exotic quest at some point shortly after the main campaign completion for Final Shape. This is called the Wild Card. Bungie have openly revealed this because the access to the new raid on Friday does require completion of both the Final Shape campaign and the Wild Card exotic quest. So on 2 fronts, it's good information to have. Firstly, post-campaign exotic quest is nice, but secondly, it is an entry requirement to Salvation's Edge, which is the new raid on Friday. So keep in mind that that one will need completing in the next few days. Next up though, something I wanted to quickly mention right here, and Bungie have confirmed that Xur has got a vendor rework in the blog that we can see on the screen. So we weren't sure if this was actually going to be a thing, as they hadn't mentioned it again in any of the sort of lead up to the expansion. But on top of Master Raoul seeing a vendor rework, Xur is indeed getting one. So a minor mention right there, but one that might be useful. And moving back to reward things, we can actually see the Tessellation catalysts now. So targets near the blast of property irreducible are affected by an elemental effect matching your equipped grenade's damage type. So that looks like a pretty cool one, and certainly there'll be a bit of synergy with Prismatic. Otherwise though, it does appear that we are getting a couple of other catalysts, things like the Final Warning catalyst. We can't see the bonuses for it just yet. Additionally though, there are things like the Red Death catalyst, and this is Helping Hand, and final blows charge this weapon, and when the weapon is charged, the next final blow creates a healing burst at your location and leaves a remnant behind that provides restoration to allies. So that sounds like a pretty good one that will be earned via the quest at Banshee. Otherwise, if you do want to take an early peek, we can look at some of the exotics in collections. There's an unknown one right here. I'm guessing that this will be the Kvostov. On top of that though, you can take a look at things like Still Hunt if you like. or indeed the heavy trace rifle, the Microcosm, so neat to get a quick look at some of those. And if you're wondering about new titles in this release, there is the final shape title, Transcendent, which is pretty cool. We won't view the contents just yet, as they may contain spoilers. There's also the title right here for the episode, which is called Intrepid, so a couple of new ones right there, which are pretty cool. Additionally though, a bit more of a spoiler alert for this one, but firstly, it looks like we are going to be getting some exotic ornaments for the upcoming class items. So the exotic class items themselves will actually drop in week 2, but as you can see on screen, they will have additional exotic ornament options in the Eververse store. It appears that these are going to be silver-only purchases, but something you might be interested in, and we'll have to see when those pop up. Also in slightly more spoiler territory though, is the upcoming exotic sword for the final shape, and this is called Ergo Sum. It's actually going to be a Pathfinder reward for the Pale Heart destination, so we'll see it soon enough, but it's a wave sword frame, and heavy attack deploys a shockwave uppercut and launches the user into the air. An immediate follow-up swing after the uppercut deploys a homing strike that aggressively seeks a target. And then it also has Transcendent Duelist, and the weapon collects less ammo, but final blows with the weapon accelerate Light and Darkness Mastery, and deals increased damage while Transcendent. Defeating targets will lengthen Transcendence itself, so pretty cool looking exotic sword, and one I'm very much looking forward to trying out. Next up though, let's take a look at the Eververse store for the week. We can see the new shader icons right here in the UI, which is pretty cool. Also, plenty of new silver ornaments and things like that. There's one for the Ace of Spades right here, which is Vex Network themed, but for Bright Dust stuff this week, we've got the Dance Off exotic emo, which is available for 3,250 Bright Dust. Of course, a lot of the Bright Dust stuff isn't likely to be especially new. There's also the Intrepid Exploit Gauntlets right here, which are available for 1,200 Bright Dust. I'm assuming that's an older one, but I don't remember it. Either way, there's the Crow Projection as well on the front page, which is 1,500 Bright Dust. And then for the shaders, we've got Coleoptera available right here. These are always 300 Bright Dust. And additionally, there is the Long Journeys shader on the front page as well. But moving over to the main Bright Dust section right here, we've got the Bailing Water exotic emo, which is 3,250 Bright Dust. Pretty interesting one. Additionally, there's the All Done, which is a rare emote right here in the store this week. We'll have another quick preview of that one. Pretty cool stuff, available for 400 Bright Dust. And then we've got the Wasteland Racer, available for 2,500 Bright Dust right there. So we'll have a quick preview of that one. And additionally, there is the Rapid Response exotic ship in the store as well, which is 2,000 Bright Dust. And then we've got some armor ornaments this week. So we've got the Loreley Splendor Helm ornament for the Titan, which is 1,500 Bright Dust. I didn't change character right here because I'll probably get kicked out. There's also the Gilded Cage ornament, which is the Whisper ornament from last season. I think this was silver only last season, but we can grab it for 1,250 Bright Dust. And then we've got the 7th column projection available right here for 1,500 Bright Dust. And then for shaders on the second page, Golden Age Wine is up for 300 Bright Dust this week. On top of that, there is the Rustberry shader available, once again, for 300 Bright Dust. It's the same cost for all of them. There's also the Growing Guilt. And then finally, we've got the Groovadelic, which is actually a new one for the episode. So maybe a cool one to grab in the store this week. But finally, there is the Reef Oracle Transmit effect, as well as the Tiger effects and Ghost Purple effects right here. And all of these are 450 Bright Dust. So let us know anything you plan to grab from the Eververse store this week. For some final bits of content to mention though, the Nightfall this week is the Glassway. We don't know the full weapon rotation just yet, so I'll have to keep you posted on what the Nightfall weapon drop is. I guess we'll probably find out in a day or two when we're past the main campaign. But the exotic mission is Operation Seraph Shield this week. We also have Last Wish and Duality featured, and those are important mentions as we will be looking for power now that we've got a new expansion. So with the hard cap going all the way up to 2,000 power, we're probably going to care a little more about these powerful gear sources once again for a while. So keep those in mind. Otherwise, I can't keep you posted on the Lost Sector list that we normally have at the end of these vendor videos, as we simply don't have the information yet. But over the next couple of weeks, we're going to get a much better idea of all of the rotations and things like that. For today though, this is an initial launch look at the final shape, some rewards, and of course the vendor updates. So let us know what you're most excited for. And as you head into the expansion, I wish you guys a wonderful final shape. Take care of yourselves. If you've enjoyed the video though, a rating really helps us out. Definitely get subscribed as there will be lots of stuff to keep posted on. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in and I sincerely hope you have an awesome day.